10 years ago to the minute, my apartment burned down.
Oh my God.
It's kind of crazy to think about, if I'm honest with you. Now, before you get worried, this is not a retirement video. I'm not trying to jump scare you, but 10 years is an enormously long amount of time, and it feels like it's a great opportunity to take a second and absorb how much things have changed. So, it's funny. When people come up to me and say, hey man, what's up? I like your channel. The number one thing that usually follows that sentence is, yeah, I can't believe I started watching your videos when your house burned down. Now, if you're a newer subscriber, you may not have seen that video. And to sum it up, back in 2014, my apartment burned down to the ground. It was kind of an experience. You're more than welcome to go check out that video. It is very, very popular because, I don't know, I guess it's not something that happens a lot. It was a crazy day though. Like, I think back on it some. It's like, 10 years ago feels like it's this insanely long amount of time. But I remember it like it was just yesterday. I remember I had stayed up late the night before. I was working on a browser test video back when I still did those on a regular basis. And I remember I finished the video, I uploaded it, went to sleep. I was sleeping in, and I heard like shouting and screaming. And I remember I, opened my eyes and looked outside. And I had like, curtains, but I had like one of those little like kind of like arch windows on the top. And I saw just black smoke all over, over the window. And I hopped out of bed. And at first I thought like, oh, someone like their barbecue caught on fire or whatever. Cause like the way that my apartment was set up, it was like a 3-story thing. I was on the 3rd floor. And some people had like barbecue pits kind of like right out front. And I remember even like a couple months actually before this had happened, this exact same thing had happened. Someone's barbecue had caught on fire, but it was just, their meat got burned. It wasn't any kind of big deal, but it scared me, So this time I, jumped up, grabbed my phone, ran out, and as soon as I walked out into like the living room, I saw just black smoke just billowing all over my patio. And at that point I knew like, oh, this is bad, right? It was a moment where, I had everything in the apartment. I had everything, I stopped to grab, I had a little safe, a little like fireproof safe that I had like some stuff like my passport and whatnot in. I grabbed my keys, I grabbed my MacBook Air, I had I think it was my iPhone 4S, and I booked it. I ran downstairs, came around to the front, and the apartment was just on fire. Like it was going. So it was a reset in my life. I really think about things before fire and after fire. There's a few moments like that I think that most people have in their lives, but like it was a thing. And honestly, like within like an hour, the apartment building didn't exist anymore. Like if you go there now, it is a concrete slab. There is nothing left, and I was not able to get really anything. Like if you've seen the video, I think I found like, I found like an iPad that was someone else's and stuff. I found like some straps. Actually, you know what? It's funny. I'll actually grab it off the set here real quick. It's a fragment of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I found a few pages of this in the fire when everything burned down. Kind of keep it as a little souvenir on the back of the set. So this is a opportunity for me to have a little one-on-one with you guys, because I think a lot of people are thinking about their future right now on YouTube. And I think that it's a good thing to consider. Every good thing has to come to an end. That's the way that life works. It's a good thing that things have to come to an end. Change is what drives progress and new ideas and new generations. It is a good thing. But it's not a good thing when you're on the wrong end of that change. And whether it's burnout, whether it is a lack of interest from your audience, whether there's so many YouTubers who have been successful over the years, and then their audience outgrew them, whether it was the content, whether it's the humor, whatever the case is. When everything just goes up and up and up and up, it feels like it's going to go up and up and up forever. But nothing goes up forever. There's always going to be, maybe not a reckoning, but things have to sort of level off at a certain point. And I think that for a lot of creators, that point is now. Now, I will tell you, that point is not now for me. I am not quitting. I am not giving up on content anytime soon. There are a lot of reasons why creators are quitting, and I think that we've all seen the videos, we've all seen a lot of the people who we've watched for years and years, we've come to rely on just decide that, hey, I'm done. But I think it's part of something that's healthy. And the fact that YouTubers have had such longevity, I think is a good thing. Like, I know that it's very popular to complain. It's very popular to go, oh no, YouTube changed, blah, blah, blah. And I get it. I really get it. But I'm a true believer in the idea that YouTube has enabled me to live a life that I absolutely would not have had access to without it. I was a 16-year-old kid making videos out of my mom's basement. I was taking screenshots on an iPod Touch. I pulled the microphone from Rock Band for PS2. And I'm like, hello, welcome to blah, blah, blah. Like, there is no scenario in which a guy like me should have ever been able to do the things that I've done. And I entirely credit that to YouTube for giving me the voice and the platform to find myself and to be able to do just the unbelievably amazing things that I've done. And it sucks when things go downhill. And I've experienced that, like the views we got in 2020 are a lot better than the ones we get today, and content changes. I know that there's a lot of you, especially if you're watching this video, there's probably a lot of you who have watched the channel for a long time and you've seen the evolutions that we've gone through. We used to do PC builds all the time. We used to do like real tech reviews, and sort of over time that has sort of evolved into different stuff. And look, I'm happy with what we make. I am. I don't want to make it seem like, oh, we got to follow the algorithm. Like, no, I enjoy doing mystery tech. I enjoy doing these crazy, wacky videos and making more entertainment than some of the more hardcore tech stuff. I'm happy with it. But I fully recognize that a lot of you who are watching this video miss the old days. And to that, I would just say things change. If you're not evolving, you're dying. I truly believe that, and especially when it comes to online content, it's so fast. I mean, people who are tremendously successful yesterday can be absolutely left behind tomorrow. I mean, it's not actually that fast, but it feels like it. It really feels like it. And when you have algorithms and shifting audiences and always something that's more tantalizing right around the corner on that next click, on that next thumbnail, it is a bit of an arms race. I love it though. I do. I really do. I absolutely love what I do. I am excited to wake up in the morning. I'm excited to come into the office. I'm excited to work with a bunch of amazing people. I'm excited to make cool videos. I make a lot of videos between here on the main channel, between between on Denki, between on Instagram, between doing live streams and podcasts. And I truly at the bottom of my heart love being a creator, and I can't imagine my life without it. I really can't. I am 31 years old and I've spent half of my life creating content every single day. And it's funny to think that 10 years ago when my apartment burned down, I was making content at that time. It was my full-time job, but I was by myself. I didn't have Overclock as a company. I didn't have anyone to work with. I didn't have an office. I literally went from my bedroom to the second bedroom, which is where I had my little studio and my office and everything. And it's funny to think back at how much that really changed things. It really changed things. And not to sound too conceited, but I think it changed things for tech on YouTube. Before that fire in January of 2014, the tech space we were friends, we got along, there was no beef or whatever, and there's a few people who I was really quite tight with, but there wasn't a sense of camaraderie. There wasn't a sense of community that had really formed yet. A little bit, but it hadn't really formed yet. And the fact that when my house burned down, a huge proportion of the tech community rallied together and tried to pick me up off my feet, or put me back on my feet. Not only did that mean so much to me, but I do believe it pushed us all forward. That was one of the first big collabs that we had ever done. And I think to what happened throughout the rest of 2014 and 2015, I think about, the night that Lou and John, who, they showed up to my house, or my parents' house, maybe 2 weeks after the fire, or whatever it was, surprised me with the Mac Pro, with like gift cards, and with these videos that they had made of, all these messages from all the people who had chipped in and everything. And it's like, I think back to that night. Sorry, I didn't mean to do this, but I think back to that night. John, Lou, and I were there. We're eating Chili's, and Lou is pitching ideas, and I'm talking with John about stuff, and we're like, why don't we just go make this thing? It was like a music video, and we did it a couple months later, and then we did a video with Joe Rogan, and then we started just all of us creating Team Crispy, which if you're not a long-time viewer, that might not mean anything to you. But like, it was a huge, huge deal. And I think that it was a happy time for YouTube and tech. It really kind of helped us all get on our A game. And for several years after the fire, obviously I'm biased, with rose-tinted glasses and looking back 8, 9, 10 years ago. But like, it was something special, man. It really was. And now it's different. Of course it's different. Everything's different, I'm sure you can think of relationships and times that you had years ago, and those aren't coming back, It's a different kind of thing. 10 years is a long time. And I'm incredibly grateful. Please don't get me wrong. I am incredibly grateful for how far things have come in the last 10 years. I went from being a guy who's shooting videos out of my apartment to developing these amazing relationships with so many other creators, to moving out to California, getting an office, founding Overclock as a company, hiring Ken, and now we've got a dozen people who work here making YouTube videos every day, which is an insane idea that is the thing that now I am responsible for. And it's like, I don't know, man. It's crazy to think that 10 years ago, I was standing in front of my apartment on fire thinking, what the hell do I do now? I'll never forget when the fire had quite literally burnt itself out. I was sitting around and trying to figure out what to do. I remember John Rettinger, God, I love him. He called me. He was like one of the first people to call me. Like my house was still literally on fire, and he called me and go, hey, man, are you okay? Can I overnight you some camera gear so that you'll be good? Like, yeah, I remember that day. I was hanging out, waiting, didn't really know what to do when everything was done. I jumped in my car. I had my keys, thankfully. I didn't have my wallet. And I remember this is the days before like Apple Pay and everything like that. I had to go to the bank and just convince them with zero documentation at all. I think I had my passport, but at the time I didn't have like the key to get into the lockbox or whatever. So I had to like go to the bank and convince them like, hey, I am who I am. Can I please have like $100? Thankfully, the people at the bank knew who I was. They probably shouldn't have done it, but they let me withdraw some money with literally nothing besides just I showed up and asked for money. I drove to Best Buy. I bought like chargers for like my phone and my laptop. I'll fucking never forget this. I drove into the sunset in my little Honda Civic, listening to the Marshall Mathers LP2 on full blast. The stereo sounded terrible. Driving into the sunset with nothing but like $20 in my pocket, some chargers, a laptop, and no idea what was coming next. It's funny to think about that compared to today, where I have the team, I have the company, I have the office, we have the channels. I'm married. I have children now. What? God, it's just wild. I hope you'll forgive me for going down memory lane here. But it's like, you guys have been with me for my entire adult life. I can't picture my life without YouTube, without creating content. I mean, it's been almost 15 years of this. It's insane. Which kind of, I guess, brings me to the future. And that sounds really ominous. The future is bright, my friends. For all of this, it's good. Things are not where they were in 2020, but they're not where they were in 2020 for anyone. You know, I think YouTube was artificially inflated, as many things were when people were at home and watching more content. And, you know, there was a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X coming out. I mean, those are heights that, I'll be honest, I'm probably never going to hit again. And I'm okay with that. I'm like, okay, no, I'm not okay. I'm good. It doesn't sound like I'm good. I don't believe it when it comes out of my mouth, but I really am good. So much good has come in the last 10 years, in the last 15 years, because of this platform, because of all the amazing people that I've connected through it. And look, I have all the sympathy in the world for every creator who is going through burnout, who is having a tough time as views dip, as they watch TikTok and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts start to kind of nibble away at the edges of the views that they used to get, as they see the big creators who absorb hundreds of millions of views, and you go, what happened to me? Like, I could not sympathize with you more. I totally get it. And you know what? If a year from now, the channel is a fraction of what it used to be, and I find it sort of more and more difficult to justify going on, I would be sad as fuck too, man. I really would. But I'm thankfully not in that spot. And I am thankfully in a position where I am going to keep making videos. And I cannot see an end date for it. There will come. There will be the last video I post on this channel. It will happen at some point. Hopefully, it's a video I get to choose to make and not a video that is, unfortunately, the last thing that's posted. That sounds dark, man, but you know what? No day is promised. Every day, you gotta appreciate what you got. You really do. You never, ever have a day promised. You have nothing promised to you in life. I truly believe that. Appreciate what you got. And I'm gonna appreciate what I have. Thank you for watching this video. Sorry if I clickbaited you, but man, it's like I've been thinking a lot about a lot of things lately, and especially with everyone talking about retiring, 10 years since the fire, it felt like this was the perfect opportunity for me to kind of have a real chat with y'all. Because, you know, videos like this shouldn't work. They don't usually work. You shouldn't post stuff like this. I should be making a mystery tech right now. But every once in a while, I think it's important to be real. And hopefully appreciate that, because I think it's helpful for me too. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for letting me do what I do. I could not be any more grateful, and I probably should be, but I'm happy. Things are in a good spot. I work hard, but I love what I do, man. I really love what I do. Is it stressful sometimes? Yeah, you better believe. But at the end of the day, I'm living my dream. I'm living beyond what I could have dreamt. And I want to be appreciative and not take it for granted. Every day I get to do this is a happy day. So thank you, thank you, thank you for supporting me, for supporting other creators who you enjoy. And thank you for the last 10, 15 years of watching videos, man. I'm not going anywhere. If I have any choice in the matter, I'm not going anywhere at all. I'm gonna keep making videos. The content will evolve. The stuff I make a year from now will be different than today, as it will be for 5 years from now and 10 years from now. It is going to change. I'm sorry if you love what I make today. It's gonna be different. I don't know what it'll be. It's gonna be a constant evolution. But you know what? Thank you for sticking here through these years. And I promise for every day that I have the opportunity to do it, I'm gonna keep making content that I enjoy and that hopefully you enjoy as well. So that's it. I'm gonna hit the stop button now. I will see you guys in the next video, which will be totally normal, and this will be a little blip that no one will probably watch. Enjoy every day. It's not promised, it's not guaranteed. Like, really appreciate it.